Hello again, my name is Mike from MikesCarpentryPlus, and today we're in the basement, and for the master bedroom there's two junction boxes down here that have wires going to them, and I'm going to hook them up for you. But first I'm going to put an outlet in, a box and an outlet for the sump pump, and it is right down here is where it is. So I'm going to put a box right up here above it, and we'll go from there. But anyway, I'll show you how easy it is. I'll zoom in on the outlet while I'm doing it, and also the junction box, so that you can see how to put an outlet in and also wire up a junction box. Just putting simple 5 wires together, black to black, and all the whites together, and all the bare safety grounds together. So here we go. Okay, we've got just a simple little plastic blue box that we've been using upstairs to nail in. Take your Romex wire. This happens to be 14-2 with ground. Stick it in there and grab a strap, little wire strap to hold this wire in here. And I'm going to need another strap here to hold it on this side. We're just going to come over to this box and we're going to cut it. Well, first we'll go ahead and get this, and I want to go ahead and cut it first. Just get it up where it's going to be against your floor joist there, and just eyeball where you're going to cut it. Now we can stick it down into the box, and now we can put a strap to hold that wire there. Didn't want that to happen. Okay, we've got, let's do the outlet first. You got your wire hanging down, and we've got just your normal 15 amp duplex outlet. And I don't have my Phillips. Yeah, I do. I happened to use this outlet somewhere else. I had a wire hooked to it and I took it off, so I'm going to take this off real quick. Must have been a temporary outlet for the remodel job. But I'm just loosening these screws and taking these little pieces of wire off of there. And since I'm only going to be putting one wire, one Romex wire, the black to white and the safety ground, then I'm gonna have like I've got this already. One screw on each side is already screwed in, and you want to do that if you're only going to put one wire on each side. And remember what I told you before. You've got your green screw right here, and that's going to be your safety ground. That's your bare wire, your bare copper wire there. And on the same side of that green safety screw, you have, that's where your neutral is going to be hooked to. And the screws are normally white for your white neutral wire. And then on the other side of your outlet, you've got gold screws, and that is for your black wire, which is your feed wire. So you want to make sure that one on each side is screwed in like it is, and drop that. That screw went somewhere. There it is. But anyway, I'm going to get a close-up on it so you can see it a little better what I'm doing. If I can get it to cooperate there. There, you can see that pretty good. First thing you do is you grab your utility knife and start up about 3 or 4 inches and slice it down the middle, just through the plastic covering. Pull it back. You're done with your knife. Once you have your cardboard and your outer covering pulled away, cut it off, get it out of the way. Here's your black feed. You want to go up about 3/4 of an inch, give it a twist and pull, and then you take your dikes and you make a little loop out of it. And then you do the same thing with your safety ground wire, and then you do the same with your neutral. So we've got our loops on each wire. The first one I hook up is my safety ground. Put it on that green screw, and then you can twist that white wire around. And notice how the wire is like this, because when I tighten the screw after I squeeze it together a little bit, when I tighten the screw, it's going to tend to tighten this loop up. You don't want to go the other way. You don't want to put it on like that, because that's going to tend to loosen it up. You put it on like that, and then you take your dikes and you kind of just squeeze them together a little bit. Just be careful with it. Don't put too much pressure on it. You don't want to cut into the wire. And then all you have to do is just tighten up your screws. And then flip it around. Get your black wire in position. Get it around the screw. Take your dikes or cut-off pliers, whatever you want to call them. Get it up in there and kind of squeeze those that wire together a little bit, about like that. And then tighten up that gold screw, and that's it. So all you have to do now is put it up into the box. You have 2 screws, one on each side. Just start it in the box like that. And my other screw is right there. Okay, remember before, you have to push this up, like I told you before. Push that up in there so that your wire, you're not pulling, tightening these screws and messing up that wire, pushing, use your fingers to get that wire up in there. That's it. That one's all done. So that's how you put an outlet in. Now we're going to come over here and I'm going to show you how to hook those wires up in that junction box. That looks good. Okay. You take your knife, you go up about 4 inches right in the middle of your wire there and lightly cut into it. Get that out of the way. Do that to each wire. Now this older Romex wire, it's a little tougher. So it's going to take a little more pressure to get it to come apart. They used to use thicker vinyl or rubber, whatever that is, plastic. And it used to be a lot tougher. The newer Romex wire is pretty thin, so it doesn't take much to get through it. You don't want to slice the wires while you're doing it either. Be careful and go right in the middle, and don't cut your finger either. Just go right in the middle, like right there, and just come down. And then you can go a little bit rougher on the end because those are going to be cut off anyway. So get them all like that. Then you take your cut off pliers or dikes, whatever you want to call them, and you go along and you cut your cardboard and your plastic outside covering off. And then you go along with each one, and you want to go up, since we've got 5 wires here, you want to come back about 1 inch. So you want to, if you want to use strippers, that's fine. If you want to use a utility knife, that's fine. But I found this is the easiest, fastest way to do it. And I don't cut into the copper at all. It's just basically scarring the plastic and then pulling it the rest of the way off. Just do that to all the wires. Got 5 wires here. We're going to use a blue wire nut, since a blue wire nut is needed for this because we've got a lot of wires here. You don't want to use a red one. Red one's not big enough. And the yellow one is the smallest of the ones that I use. I guess they've got orange ones, but I hardly ever use those. So what you do is you take all of your safety ground wires, all your bare copper, and you get them organized on one side. And then get them all about the same length. And then to save some time, what I do is I take my dikes and I get them, just cut them off at the shortest one. And then I've got them all ready to go, all the same length. And then you take your blue wire nut and you get it started on there, get it started, keep all the wires in there where they're the same length. And give it about 8 twists maybe. Get it good and twisted, and then stick it up into the box. And then we're going to work. Now I want you to remember this. Don't be doing this unless you check this wire, this feed wire right here. This feed wire, I just went all the way to followed it all the way to the breaker box, and it is not even hooked up to a breaker. It's completely off, and you want to make sure you don't have a hot wire there while you're doing this. You don't need to recharge that bad. So you get all your whites together or your neutrals, and just adjust them to where they're all the same length. And be real careful doing this, because I've had to, I was hired one time to go to a new house, brand new house, that had electrical problems. I went down in the crawl space and found almost, well, at least half of the boxes down there. When they put the wire nuts on, the wires weren't at the same length, and some of them didn't connect. So you want to make sure that you get them all the same length, and then when you twist this together, make sure it's twisted above your wire nut like that. And then we can stick that one up in there. Now all we got left is our black wire, or our feed wire. So you just get them all the same length. And then get your big blue wire nut on there. Do whatever you got to do to get these things the same length. You do not want them any more than about 1/8 of an inch off. So see how they're all together there? And then start your wire nut, and they'll start to twist, and they'll all be together, and they've got, that's why I like to go a full inch when I strip those back. And then you just stick that up in there. You can pull the wires up from the top of the box here, kind of push it up in there. Since there's nothing going on in this basement, I can just leave it just like that, and it's fine. So that's it. That's all there is to it. So just realize that whenever you do stuff like this, number one concern is safety, and you want to make sure that nothing's hot in the, none of the wires are hot. And like I said, I followed that one wire, my big wire up here, my 12-2 with ground. I followed it all the way back to the breaker box, and it's not hooked up. And that wire at the breaker box is marked number 8 for the sump pump. And I've got that marked over at the breaker box on that wire. So when I put that breaker in and hook that wire up to it in the breaker box, I'll use a 20 amp breaker for it. And I'll write on there number 8 sump pump. And that way, I'm going to know that all the wires that are going towards the far side of the family room, or not family room, bedroom, master bedroom, is going to be on this box. And then I've got another box right over here that I think I showed you the other day, that is the for the other side of the master bedroom. You can see it up there, right there. And I'll go ahead and I'll hook it up now. And I've already checked the wire, that the 12-2 with ground that's going to be feeding that box. I've already ran it all, followed it all the way to the breaker box, and it is called number 6. So I've got 6. I put on the junction box there, and at the other end of the wire, at the breaker box, I have a number 6. So I know exactly which junction box that number 6 is going to go to, and it'll also be a 20 amp breaker. So I guess that's it. That's how simple it is. I just put an outlet in for the sump pump and hooked up one junction box, within, I don't know, 7 or 8 minutes. So it doesn't really take that long if you know what you're doing, and you use the right materials and check the wire, make sure it's not hot. You'll have no problems, and the connection will be good because you butted all the wires. You know, they're all going into the wire nut at the same length. So when you twist them together, they're all going to connect good, and that's what you're shooting for. So anyway, I'm Mike from MikesCarpentryPlus, and this is video 24. Yeah, I'll show you here. I'll get that in the picture. Oh, there it is. Video 24 of home remodel. And the next video, I'm excited about it because I'm getting really far along in that master bedroom now. I'm going to put up a craft-faced installation, and that's not going to take very long, and I'll put up a few strips for you and show you how to do it with a hammer stapler deal, a hand stapler, just a pounder. It's easy to do, and there's just a couple of easy techniques to use when you do it, and that'll be in the next video. So you have any cats or dogs, please get them spayed in or neutered and take care of them and feed and water them good and let them go to the bathroom often, and give your kids a hug. And these videos are for friends and family, and hopefully you can learn a tip or two from them. And love you guys, and have a good one. Bye.